Another week, another big question mark on tolls. We are hearing you will be able to weigh in during a public hearing that's expected for this coming week.
We'll see about that. But the governor and Democrats, who are in the majority in the legislature, seem pretty set on getting trucks-only tolling in place and up and operating, hoping to model the plan here after our neighbors in Rhode Island. We're glad to have back on the program to talk about this one of the co-chairs of the Transportation Committee at the legislature, Roland Lemar, state representative, Democrat, representing the New Haven area, right?
That's right.
Primarily.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And nice to have you back. So what makes you so optimistic that something's going to happen in this coming week?
The governor's office, the legislature, both my Senate colleague and the House have been working for the past few months trying to craft a solution to our Special Transportation Fund, which, as we've talked about before, is facing serious challenges. We want to invest in highways.
That's the lockbox, right?
That's right. We want to invest in highways and in transit and buses. And we want to make sure our trains are running on time and getting us into and out of our cities and building our economic potential. So we've been working hard on it. We've been looking at examples in Rhode Island, as you mentioned, their experience with truck tolling. And we think that that might be an option for us. We think truck tolling is the best possible option that we can get through the legislature.
But their revenue has gone down lately, hasn't it? I mean, it's not as great as they hoped.
Because their toll gantries are delayed, so those aren't up soon enough.
Right, and so we looked at that and we saw that they only constructed 5 of the 12 gantries that they had approved. Connecticut similarly would look at 12 gantry locations. We would construct them all at the same time to ensure that we're covering the entire state and reaching the revenue projections that we are holding.
So you don't think that we would have the delays that Rhode Island is seeing?
I do not. No, we've been partnering with the federal government for the last few years on a potential tolling program. We've looked at our locations pretty intently to try and determine what the best locations were, the payback times for each of those bridges, and we think the 12 locations that we've identified are the right locations and that we can move forward with them quickly after passage.
Seems like every guest that we've had come on, and the governor included, is like, the next week we're going to have the bill in a special session, the next week we're going to have one, and obviously it's still...
Next week never comes.
Exactly.
Or, well, it comes, but there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. So what's the sticking point? Is it just the intricacies of the bill, or are people fighting within the party about what needs to happen?
It's a little bit of both. There are writing any piece of legislation, and this is going to be, a 25 to 30 page piece of legislation. You can boil it down to truck-only tolls, 12 locations across the state, capping you at only once per day, raising $170 million per year to invest in transit and buses and highways. But the reality is you're worried about privacy protection, so you have to write that section and make sure we're getting good advice from interested parties like the ACLU. Make sure that we're in relationship with our Attorney General's office to make sure any of the legal challenges we're strongly protected against them. And we want to make sure that we are picking the right locations and that our revenue projections are strong. So we're going back and checking with DOT, okay, let's analyze this bridge one more time. What is the through truck traffic? How much revenue can we project in this location? What is the estimate for cost of reconstruction? So going through those details and making sure that we are right is the paramount consideration at this point. And we want to get it done before a special session. We want to get it done in special session before the regular session starts, making sure that we have all of our legislators in place for this important vote is also important.
One of the things we asked the governor when he was on recently about this plan is, what do you say to people who figure that eventually we're going to have tolls on cars because you're going to find you need the revenue? And governor said it won't happen because it can't happen. So what's in this legislation that's going to prevent you guys deciding, oh, we need more money, we really we don't want to do it, but we're going to have to add cars to this? What's the language in the package that takes care of that?
Yeah, so in this legislation that we will consider, we will expressly say this does not give the authority for DOT and Oversight Board to go forward with any additional plans or tolling beyond these 12 locations and for trucks only. If in the future someone wanted to come back with cars as well, they'd have to go through the whole legislative process again. They'd have to start over. This legislation will not allow it under any terms.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense that they would have to go back and change that. What do you think about Rhode Island right now with the legal battle? I know you guys are watching it closely, and we did see I guess it's the governor's budget come out, and that's where we're seeing the lower projections because of the toll delays. Anything else still making you pause there? I mean, Governor Lamont was adamant that we could win if this got brought to a legal battle, which the trucking industry has said they would if we implemented them.
Of course, and the trucking industry has made it clear that they do not support tolling of any kind. But the reality is that the average individual large-scale tractor-trailer on the roadway causes immeasurable times more damage than the car that you and I may drive. And the challenge in Rhode Island provides us actual guidance on what their concerns are. So as long as we can evidence that they're causing a disproportionate amount of damage on our roadways, which we can, which every study has indicated. Two, as long as we can show that we are complying with the federal requirements on our tolling program, we don't risk any federal funding or any federal pushback. The challenge in Rhode Island is mostly about the use of Rhode Island's state taxing power. We're not going down that road. We're going down through a federally approved tolling program. So we do not feel the trucking industry has the same legal challenges and standing as they do in Rhode Island.
And you have a special panel that's going to be able to raise rates, not the transportation department, but a special panel of what, lawmakers or who?
Yeah, we don't want this to be an administrative process in which some bureaucrats aren't responding to public pressure or public concerns get to raise rates. So we want to strongly tie the hands of how high those rates can be, maybe adjusting them to consumer price index, but having this authority, an oversight authority, really evaluate what those rates should be and take it into contact public testimony is the right way to go.
We have run out of time again, but I have one more question.
Yes.
Why do we need to do this during a special session? I mean, regular session's starting like a week later. What's the difference?
The importance of this being done as soon as possible is because with every passing weekend, I take my kids and hockey all across the state of Connecticut. I'm on the highways quite a bit, and every week we see the millions upon millions of dollars that are being invested in other states because tractor trailers, out-of-state individuals are paying into their systems and not into ours. We have billions of dollars in backlogs that we need to address, and we're missing it week by week by not moving forward with a transportation plan. The time to act is now.
All right, Roland Lemar, we appreciate your coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll have you on again.
Sounds good.
If nothing
Keep us
happens.
updated.
That's right.
Or if something happens. All right. Up next, right after a quick break, Republican David Sullivan is here. He's trying his hand at running for Congress. The election now less than a year away. He's hoping to unseat Congresswoman Jahana Hayes in the 5th District. How's he going to do it? We're going to talk with the former federal prosecutor coming right up here on The Real Story. Stay with us.